Thank you for watching this video. To best support the channel, please take a moment and click the subscribe button. Also, the links to purchase this fly and the materials to tie the fly are in the description. Today we are revisiting one of my personal favorite carp flies of all time, the Carp Skittle. We're tying it up on a Barbless hook this time, on a Moonlit Tagata ML801 hook in size 8. We're using Semperfli Nano Silk 50 denier or 12/0 in olive. Go ahead and throw a small thread base on and cut off your tag end. Now you'll go ahead and grab some medium bead chain eyes. I like using black. I've also used fluorescent green on this pattern, and they both do a great job. Be careful, dropping bead chains happens. Go ahead and pick that back up off your desk if you're like me and you dropped it, and go ahead and tie that in with some crossing wraps. I like doing a couple wraps each direction and then going underneath the eyes and over the hook to lock that into place and repeating the process a couple of times. The nice thing about using nano silk on this fly is you can really crank down tight and not add up a lot of bulk while doing this multiple times. Helps keep them in there nice and tight. Once your eyes are tied in, go ahead and wrap back towards the bend of the hook. From here, you'll grab some rabbit fur off of a zonker strip, and you'll take 1/2 of an inch and cut it straight off the hide. And go ahead and take that and tie that in right at the back of the hook, right where the curve is starting, and just lock that into place, get some nice tight wraps on there, and tie it down as tight as you can so it doesn't slide off the hook. Make sure you keep those the rabbit fur on top of the hook. Next, we'll go ahead and grab some Nature Spirit UV Tracer Squirrel Dub in Caddis Green Chartreuse, and we'll go ahead and dub that onto our thread. And you'll see me dubbing this on a couple of times because you want to keep it relatively uniform and build a slight taper in the fly. So you dub that on and wrap back towards where your tie-in point for the rabbit zonker strip fur was, and tie that in, and then cover up your butt ends. And then go ahead, if you need to put some more dub on, just dub some more onto your thread. Create another small noodle. Go ahead and wrap and cover up any exposed thread wraps. And just keep wrapping that towards the eye of the hook. And if needed, like I do right now, go ahead and put another small pinch of dubbing on there and get up to the backside of those bead chain eyes. Now that we're up to those bead chain eyes, we're going to go ahead and grab some Sili legs. These are in fluorescent chartreuse and black. They're barred Sili legs. And you'll cut a full leg in half so you can have 1/2 on the close side to you and 1/2 on the far side. And you'll tie those in right behind the eye, right behind those bead chain eyes, excuse me. And get them to go just a little bit underneath the bead chain eyes so they can kind of splay forward and backwards on the hook. You can see that right now there, that they're pointing forward and backward. And they're going under the hook and staying between the bead chain eye and the eye of the hook. Now we'll go ahead and grab some pale caddis disco dub, and this gives the head of the fly a little bit of extra flash and visibility. And you're gonna wrap that behind the eyes to keep the back legs pointing forward or pointing rearward, and then you'll wrap your dubbing around these legs and get them to point forward and stay in that slot between the dumbbell eye and the eye of the hook on each side. And you'll wrap around, creating a head covering up any exposed thread wraps. Make sure you don't trap your eyes or your legs in the wrong direction. Get them tied in so they stay nice and clean. Cross over the top of those eyes a couple of times, and then pull your legs back and dub right behind the eye of the hook. And then lock everything in place nice and tight, and we'll go ahead and whip finish this fly. With the nano silk being a slightly more slippery thread, I like doing 2 whip finishes on this fly. Helps keep everything together. Now that the whip finish is done, go ahead and trim off your thread. And what we're going to do is we're going to trim our rear facing legs to be about half of the length of the rabbit that we have on the back. So we're going to pull our front legs out of the way, grab our rear legs, measure to about halfway of the zonger strip, or the rabbit fur, excuse me. Trim those off. And then we'll grab our front legs, pull them together, and go back to about where the bend of the hook is, clip those off. And that way you can have the legs give a lot of extra wiggle and floppiness. And the fly is complete. Once again, this fly catches carp. Please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, grab some materials or flies from the shop. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.